Yes, sir. Plug walk. Mm-hmm. Oh. Shush. Plug walk. Yeah. What's good? What's good, 305? How you doing? Let me see. What? How you doing? How you doing? Let's see. Well, hey, I need it in my headphones, dog. What's going on in my headphones? This part. There we go. All right. It's good, chat. It's good. We're back. We are back. Like back. We gonna be thankful for as long as we can because this is a blessing. I just was like, bruh, it's Friday. I want to stream so bad, and I was watching like a little bit of this, and I was like, dang, this would be great to have on stream. But I was like, my laptop's been fried. But I gave it a whole reboot, gave it some time to think about itself, and now we're here. You know what I mean? So like, I can't really like stress enough how happy I am to have my system back. So I'm just happy for that, honestly. Friday, I don't know what you're doing. Could be doing something, but you're here, so I appreciate it. Trying to just get back to it. I had a whole like funk, but when you figure out what you want to do and your goals, then you could kind of get back to your objectives. So the vision is definitely back where I want it to be. But overall, I'm glad I really hope everybody had a good weekend. I'm sorry, not weekend. I hope everybody had a good week. The weekend is coming. I have a lot of things coming this weekend. I have like a retreat tomorrow. I have a spa day that I'm hosting on Sunday. So today, I just met up with some business partners, got some food, and that was about it. I didn't do too much. Clean the house up a little bit. Calm, just calm Friday. That's all you can ask for before things really pick up. And since things have been not too crazy, but had to do some assignments this week, so yeah. But honestly, I didn't want to talk too much today. I really wanted some knowledge to be put on you guys. I've been talking, and I hope you've been, taking notes or understanding a little bit what I've been talking about. But truthfully, this is just something that I just wanted to watch more, dive more into, and I hope you guys can take something from it too. So, yeah.
What's happening?
Microphone check, 1, 2, what is this? We are here on an off day. Let me tell the people how this came to be.
All right.
I DM'd you, and I felt odd, because as a man, you don't really DM men. Right? Let me just be honest. We don't DM men, honestly.
Nah, but if it's a purpose, yeah.
No, still don't DM men. But we got it off, and I said, yo, man, love what you're doing. Keep it up. And we had that exchange, and then randomly out the blue, I said, yo, I'd love to have you. And you just happened to be in the city, in New York City.
That's right. And yeah, we DM for business. I'm good with DMs for
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
Talk about
exactly.
it.
Yeah, I mean, this is about the third or fourth time I've been to Manhattan in the last 6 months, and probably back in a couple of 3 weeks. But I wanted to make sure I got a chance to get by here because I'm about to do a lot more collaborations. I'd already done with No Jumper about a couple of months ago. And the thing is, I want to get out and talk to as many people who are not used to what I say, because many people are getting introduced to me off of clips, and you really can't kind of gauge anything off a clip other than what they want you to gauge. So I'm like, well, if you're gonna say something like I say, even on my show, you need to take it to as many people, friendly or not, and be able to have a conversation. And if nothing else, you get credit for at least showing up and having a convo. So.
Well, I have to be honest with you. I've spoken to a few people to let them know that I was doing this interview. Some of them were women.
Yeah.
And boy, were they angry about it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they killed me. They kicked my ass. So I love you. I love everybody. But how do you feel? Do you know that
They killed me. They kicked my ass.
do you know that feeling is out there?
I know that feeling exists for a vocal minority. What I also know is I get the videos
So
of
the
women saying,
vocal
"Thank you, Kevin
minority.
Samuels, for saving my marriage. Kevin Samuels is the reason I'm engaged." And if you watch my show instead of the clips, you'll see women all the time coming on saying, "You know what? When I first heard you, I didn't know what to think about it, but I sat back and I listened to it myself end to end, and I can't deny I agree with a lot of things you're saying. I've even tried some of these things, and I'm a better friend, a better daughter, better sister, a better cousin, a better wife, a better girlfriend. My current generations, my future generations, thank you." So I'll take any of the critics, because what they don't do, they don't come and actually talk to me when I have my smoke show. I open it up at least every 30 to 45 days and say, and you have plenty of notice. Come on, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So, I believe there's a certain amount of people who are detractors, and I also think my name is kind of popular right now, so it makes for good clicks.
That part.
But if you really have a problem with it, let's talk about it. And that never really tends to happen.
Got it.
So
Got it.
what's your background? How did you kind of get started into your show?
Well, it's a long path.
You can paraphrase. Cliff notes.
My background is pretty much this. I spent most of my adult life in corporate sales. That's how I actually got to New York City. Spent some time in advertising and marketing, but the net of it is, as an image consultant, I was finding my male clients, when they were coming in, becoming the best version of themselves, they kept coming back with the same thing. Looking for women on my level, my new level, my adjusted level, and I'm not finding any women who really are fitting what I'm looking for. Now, see, what we have been told is a lot of guys don't want relationships or marriage or this or that, and that's really kind of the opposite. But many of the guys are saying, I'm trying to find somebody who wants to work with me and not wanting to be at odds with me. So I came onto YouTube years ago speaking to men. 3+ years of videos just speaking to men, and no one cared. But around June of last year, after I did a show that was almost like a Shark Tank kind of show, I started speaking to women, because I've been speaking to women since 1989, back when we were doing these things on college campus. We'd have these relationship seminars, these dating seminars, back when Shahrazad Ali's book came out and caused all that whirlwind. We've been talking about relationships for the longest. So just like anybody else, I got a point of view and an opinion, and I just started talking to women about some of the things I've seen and a lot of things I'm hearing from men, and that kind of caught a moment. And, of course, one video got onto World Star, and it had some traction, but, of course, the average or best video is the one that really blew up. And I said, over 200,000, that wasn't about me. That's about us. That video did numbers that I've looked on their page, and I haven't seen videos with 8 years with that amount of views. People were from coast to coast contact me and told me over the weekend they were watching the entire video and having like love-in, lock-ins and having this conversation. It started a conversation. And my thing is actually started a conversation with women that men have always been having. We had this conversation on the basketball court, playing dominoes, spades in the barbershop. And when we can take them no cussing signs off, when we can be men like we grew up being, not these new grass-eating lions like we have to be today. No cussing in the barbershop. You know, we can't be men anywhere. We actually say what is on our mind.
Grass feeding
Now,
lines.
the things that a lot of men are wanting are the same thing they've always wanted: cooperation. But that's what men across the board are seeming to get in diminished quantities. And what we do here is we hear it all from one side, from color purple to exhaling to everything else. We hear what women want. Great. Well, I have one question to the women. What do the kind of men you want from a woman? And that's when you get cricket ass quiet.
You can't ask that shit, man.
Yo.
Could you give the man some credit for grass-eating lions?
Yeah.
Give him some credit for
man.
grass-eating lions.
Listen, man.
The problem is you used to could not ask because before, you know, you guys are used to all this. You're artists, musicians, and everything else. I come from the corporate side. But one thing I do know, 52 years old, that if you wanted to get out and speak to the public, you had to go through some sort of FCC regulated something. ABC, NBC, CBS, PBS, if there was anything, and then outside of New York City, you know, AM, FM radio, the media was controlled. And the media's job is to sell advertising, which I sold. And if you're going to have programs on during the daytime, you better sell advertising to the people who, you got to give them the program they want. Yeah. Even Gillette
razors
is sitting around telling men how to be new kind of men.
Now
you got a men's product lecturing men on how to be better men. And I'm like, where the women's products telling women, how about just be nice?
Softer side of Sears.
Just be nice. I mean, so what we haven't done is the marketplace does what it does. If 73 cents out of every dollar is spent in this country is spent by women, you better give a marketing message to the people who spend the money. That makes sense. Problem is we get an unbalanced view of things, and the net of it is the modern dating environment is not working. It's falling apart. And people are not getting together here, other places. The hookup economy, all these things are existing. And here's the thing. Women are
Dang. I don't know. He kind of had me on that. He said the modern dating community is falling apart. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Not wrong. I don't know if y'all heard that. Did y'all hear it?
In diminished quantities, and what we do here is we hear all on no cussing in the barbershop. You know, man can't be men anywhere. We actually say what is on our mind. Now, the things that a lot of men are wanting are the same thing they've always wanted: cooperation. But that's what men across the board are seeming to get in diminished quantities. And what we do here is we hear it all from one side, from color purple to exhaling to everything else. We hear what women want. Great. Well, I have one question to the women. What do the kind of men you want from a woman? And that's when you get cricket ass quiet.
You can't ask that shit, man.
Man. Could you give the man some credit for grass-eating lions?
Yeah.
Give him some credit for grass-eating lions.
Listen, man.
The problem is you used to could not ask because before, you know, you guys are used to all this. You're artists, musicians, and everything else. I come from the corporate side. But one thing I do know, 52 years old, that if you wanted to get out and speak to the public, you had to go through some sort of FCC regulated something. ABC, NBC, CBS, PBS, if there was anything, and then outside of New York City, you know, AM, FM radio, the media was controlled. And the media's job is to sell advertising, which I sold. And if you're going to have programs on during the daytime, you better sell advertising to the people who, you got to give them the program they want. Even Gillette
razors
is sitting around telling men how to be new kind of men. Now you got a men's product lecturing men on how to be better men. And I'm like, where the women's products telling women, how about just be nice?
Softer side of Sears.
Just be nice. I mean, so what we haven't done is the marketplace does what it does. If 73 cents out of every dollar is spent in this country is spent by women, you better give a marketing message to the people who spend the money. That makes sense. Problem is we get an unbalanced view of things, and the net of it is the modern dating environment is not working. It's falling apart. And people are not getting together here, other places. The hookup economy, all these things are existing. And here's the thing. Women are unhappy with the outcomes. Women are vocal about women have no problem being vocal about the things they don't like. Men have learned not to say anything.
You fucking right, we did.
You can't say that.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, he did.
So you fucking right, we did.
Some of me has to believe that you have to subscribe to some of the myths of the woman that you want to sleep with.
So you have to subscribe to the myth?
Men have learned that if I say too much truth, I will be canceled. I'll lose money. I'll lose deals. I'll lose this.
Especially in entertainment.
Yes. So it becomes who buys the concert tickets and the shirts and everything else. So men in a business interest, we're practical. We're cost benefit calculators. What's the benefit to what I'm going to say versus the cost? Now, what's happened is, I hate the term social media. Social media has happened. So it has democratized the access to the airwaves. The smartphone and high-speed internet access has taken away has leveraged the power that the TV stations, the cable stations, and the radio stations used to have. You needed to go to them to build an audience. Indeed. Now you can build your own audience. And I just built an audience talking about the things that matter to my audience.
That
and
men have
now,
been saying for eons.
so now they can't quote unquote cancel you as easy. They still can, but you can still have different outlets. There have always been men saying things that are kind of pushing the envelope, but now it's becoming, I won't say more acceptable. It's starting to happen with more frequency. I'll say that.
Okay.
I agree. Wholeheartedly.
Anybody in here familiar with Jordan Peterson?
No.
Dr. Jordan Peterson. Dr. Jordan Peterson, he's a psychologist out of Canada. He made a big splash by rejecting a mandate from the government of Canada, basically saying that you have to call somebody by their designated pronoun that they chose. It wasn't that he didn't want to call them by their pronoun. He just rejected to being the codification of speech. He didn't want his free speech to be incurred upon. So he became worldwide phenomenon for basically standing up saying, you cannot in law tell me how I have to address somebody. I can choose to do that or not. He's never said he wouldn't do that. He just said he doesn't want it to be law. Men like that are starting, he started a movement more or less. I would say not started a movement. He's caught a wave on the movement. And he went from being really relatively unknown to, in a short period of time, gaining 2 million followers on YouTube, earning like $400,000 or $500,000 a month on Patreon. And he's a professor in Canada. And you know one of the things that he said that slipped under the radar? He basically told men you need to go clean up your room. Basically saying men need to be men. But what got him in hot water was the fact that he actually just said, you can't tell me how I have to speak to somebody in law. And however, on the other side, you have no problem how you speak to us. And that's where we kind of are right now. What most of my critics never say is what I'm saying is wrong. They just don't like the tone.
The delivery.
Or the
harshness. Or it's not what they want to hear.
Or let's be honest, who the hell do you think you ought to even say something like that?
Well, to that you say what? Because let me tell you, sir, if I was calling somebody, hey, ma, you built like Emmitt Smith, I would have a long week. I would have a long week.
You would.
Okay. Yeah, because
I would have a long week.
Say that.
Why?
But let me ask you this, though. No.
Why?
Conversely, when he's asking a woman that
You can say
only
why.
wants a certain type of man, what is your entitlement, your personal entitlement? Why do you feel that you can get this? If it was a woman saying she wanted a certain type, if it was a man saying he wanted a certain type of woman, women will all come in masses and droves saying, "You don't qualify for her."
Well,
Why can't he say it? And that's the doctor that he just referenced saying, "Yo, you can't tell me by law what I can say," right? They're telling him the same thing. Like, you can't say that. Shoot.
I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me.
Imagine being able
That's
to build
dumb.
anything just by thinking about it.
Don't
Meet
bring that
Base
up.
44, a complete AI.
Women have no problem telling me
At
what
all.
they don't want.
At
Matter of
all.
fact, they can feel bitch saying it.
At all.
And if I just happen to say ma'am, and I was wrong, she actually weighed more than Emmett Smith or Barry Sanders. I mean, and see, the thing is, let's look it up. Women have no problem telling men under 5'7". I don't want no short
I don't
dude.
want to.
I don't want no short dude. I mean, think about on my show that women call into my show.
That one needed a moment of silence. I'm sorry. That one needed a moment of silence.
Voluntarily. They know what it is, and they're calling in saying, regardless of their situation, I want a man who's making the kind of money to be able to provide for a family of 2 or 3 or better. I don't want to have to work to pay significant bills. And regardless as to how I come to the table, that's what I want. And I ask, why can't you just get an average regular guy?
All the time.
And how often do these women laugh? See, we have no problem when women are laughing at half the male population or more.
That's true.
But when a man just happens to say, you know what, ma'am? Objectively, you weigh more than a man at your height.
But listen to this, though. Now, again, Kevin already said that he's coming from that corporate side. We have this conversation all the time of what's happening now, currently in entertainment. The women are the ones that's kicking ass out here.
No, not just entertainment.
The same
in
way
corporate
that
America.
he just spoke about the professor that's getting it on Patreon. The women have a lot of outlets to where, now we reversing this.
Okay, so now
It's me with the bag. No longer do I have to rely on you. Adhere to your rules, your thinking, your demands, and that's why it's up. And that's where all these phrases are coming from. City girl summer.
Wait.
What's
Hot
the
girl
Mac
summer.
shit? Hot
Wait.
girl summer. Yeah.
So with
Right?
that being said, women are killing, especially kudos to black women. They're
1000%.
killing corporate America. They're killing all these entrepreneurial ventures. They're doing all these amazing things, right?
I disagree. The numbers say different.
From past.
I say different. Okay. That's the marketing. The numbers say different. We've heard black women. You're the most educated.
Yeah.
You've heard that, right?
Yeah, this is crazy. This just I know y'all heard what they were talking about, right? I just see this from 20 minutes ago. This girl in my phone talking about something. If you want to take me on a date, then you should plan it. Next Friday is my birthday, so I'm going to go out. I'm going to the bullpen in DC. Excuse me? You see Kevin's face? Like, what? What does it have to what does it have to do with me? Yeah, nah. That's not how you get things. I'm sorry. You don't say if you want to take me out, you should plan it. I mean, that's real, but don't say that. And then talk about next Friday is my birthday, so I'm going out. Oh, okay. Cool. Like I'm not your man's, you know. Now you're telling me where you're going. So like, yeah, I could pull up there in a sense, but it's like, Like, what? What are we talking about? You know? I'm just like he's talking about you telling me what she wants, not asking me what I want. That's just this video is from how long ago? Because it's talking about Hot Girl Summer. This video is pretty old, like Kevin said. You know what I'm saying? But just to think about how RP too, RP Monday. But apple juice. To even like think about their thought process on women and how they're correlating it to the woman's thought process and to how her thought process is in my phone, and it's May 15th, 2026. It is not far off from what they were just talking about. It's not. Actually, it's really not. It's really not. It's kind of scary that, like they said, it's scarce. It's bad. That's bad. That's bad. You see the onions peel off more and more. It makes you want to cry because it's not a cry, but it's more like a damn. Just can't be around that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just foul. Yeah, it's just foul. So that's interesting.
We've heard black women are most educated. You're the most enrolled. See, we play slick and loose when we start. Let me say something. Set the table. A man's past or a woman's past or her story is used to mythologize. A man's past or his story is typically used to demonize. Black men past or his story is strictly used to villainize you.
Yeah.
So we can say women are doing this, women are doing that. Okay, then let's take that. Women are killing it. I accept your premise. They're killing it. They're out here entrepreneurs. They're business people. They're moving and shaking. City girls summer. Blah blah. Why 1 in 4 are you on some sort of psych med? Why is the weight of the typical woman up? And why are more women today the most free, the most liberated, the most educated, the more anything else, the least happy of any woman has ever existed?
I can't speak to their happiness.
He's a hold on. I can't speak
the
to
things
that.
that typically make women happy are relationships. They've calibrated. They're the social of the two, and many women have all the things that on paper are supposed to make you happy, but they don't have the relationship or the family, and that is where this is all falling apart. I mean, you got to think about it. If I was not saying something to make sense, why do I have anywhere from 20 to 30,000 people watching consistently, even with the women being so angry? Because what they're recognizing is something is missing. When I used to have my MIT, my men in training seminars, I would say, guys, the first thing I would do is take them to a city
get off my
overlooking
joint, bro.
downtown. I'd say, gentlemen, life happens out there. Number 2 word, life is about people. Life is about relationships. And one thing this coronavirus pandemic showed to women in general, unfortunately black women in particular, is when you shut the world down, you shut it down, you could not go to work. Many women had to look to the left, to the right, to the front and back, and there was nobody there.
Wow.
No husband, no kids, no family, no network. They're just sitting there. And that gave them a glimpse into their possible future.
Yeah,
All things being equal, if you keep living the way you're living, this is what it's going to end up being. And it panicked people for the first time because it took an act of God to actually start this conversation. That's when my podcast started picking up because for the first time, men and women were at home. Men have always known this.
Let me tell you, just not to interrupt.
Can I get some applause?
As someone,
I need some applause.
As someone whose podcast was rocking before the pandemic, boy, was I mad at all you new flourishing podcasts. Get out of here.
This dude.
But yeah, we'll hit the round
Listen
of
to
applause.
what he just said.
I will. Let me hit the round of applause like you asked. I'm scared to fucking.
No, it took an act of God for somebody to now do some soul searching.
But won't it always?
Yeah, but again,
Yeah,
for women
but-
that are speaking against him, right?
Mm-hmm.
The corporate
That
movers
candle
and
was
shakers.
burning, my nigga.
Well, and the funny thing is,
Nigga
it's
just
a
took
certain
that candle
kind of
out.
woman's loud. It's typically college educated,
Yes.
mid-30s. and they realized that I'm Generation X. I say we were lied to. We were sold a bill of goods. I talked about how Cosmopolitan magazine marketed a lifestyle to women.
that
They wanted to
came
be the
burning.
Playboy of women. I did a broadcast about that 2 months ago, talking about the book Subverted, how they openly admit that we lied to a generation of women just to sell you products. I don't begrudge us for how we got here, but we got to acknowledge if 1 out of 4 of you in our community, if 1 out of 4 women will marry anybody, black women will marry anybody, that means 3 out of 4 of you will die unmarried. That matters once you are past hot girl summer and once you pass your earning potential.
Wait a minute.
Once all that stuff is gone, then what? And see, that's what started to happen. And it's all been conversation until that. If you went to the grocery store in March of 2020, the first time I'd ever seen fear in women's eyes is when they were there. Because what I tended to see in Atlanta, in the grocery store, I tended to see a lot of guys. But unfortunately, when I saw a black woman, I tended to see her there, no ring on, and panicking, no water, no toilet paper. I'm like, this is like the real live Book of Eli, Walking Dead. This is what it looks like when the world that men built that you don't need stops running. And I don't just talk about things from just a look standpoint and this and that. I say, okay, many women don't really understand what they need a man for outside of provision and sex. But the pandemic showed that, you know what? Having somebody to the right of you to help for many other things is valuable. That's why this show is kind of picked up. Now, who are the women that typically are upset? One, the women who typically know they're not trying to be anywhere other than a partner. The word submission is a curse word. The word, it's all these newfangled things. The women who tend to be making more than the average woman who actually thinks being with a man limits her versus frees her up. I'm like, all right. And the net of it, I ask all women, even women who say don't like me, are they coming into interactions with men in good faith? Or is they already coming in thinking that something's going to go wrong? Or are they coming in with fear and scarcity and lack in their mentality?
No, they're not.
Is there any hope when you deal with a man, or is it always, I want a man who's this whole laundry list of stuff to where he's having to deal with issues, traumas, things that you've not resolved in your past, and you take that to the next man, and you say, all right, then what is he going to get in exchange for that?
My wife called me lazy because I never do the things I say I'll do.
That was cooking, boy.
We were
Yeah,
both
he was
wrong.
cooking.
Me?
See, I just think that everything he just said is applicable to
Both.
yeah.
It is.
I agree.
It is.
That's
I agree
all.
with that.
I'm
It-
totally
it is
with him.
definitely.
Like, listen, a lot of my favorite restaurants, they didn't make it out the pandemic. They didn't make a lot of my homies and what they did. I was blessed that I was in a field where we were thriving. So, but yeah, people was fucked up out there. So I saw panic in the street. I heard panic when my peoples was on the phone.
From both.
Right? Listen, I went on the internet and gave my money away.
I believe you, but what he's saying is for these independent thinkers, quote unquote, that always tout that they don't need a man. I don't need no man for this. I don't need no man for that. God just showed you. Yes, you do.
Well, see, the difference
Did they really
is,
need him?
the difference is,
yes.
The difference is,
Yes.
men have always understood that ain't nobody coming to save you. There ain't nobody coming to save you. The world doesn't care about your problems. Because all you got to do to see what happens to a man who's been on Wall Street and now he's living in the park. We know that can happen to us.
Right.
Women of any society have been shielded from the harshness of the world. Well, when you can't continue to shield women from that, then they have to start dealing with it. You as a man know, if I'm driving a car, I got to be able to handle what happens with coming with this. Most women just think I'll just call somebody.
I can bet.
Something's gonna happen, and so what does that mean? What does that mean?
Could just call
Yeah,
somebody.
that's what I'm gonna say.
What's wrong with that?
We don't have
Watch
that
this.
luxury.
No, watch this.
Well,
but that comes with a certain realization.
Let me
The
finish.
point I'm getting to is that men of a society have always known if you can't produce a cover for yourself, the streets or the park is for you. Right. Women don't. They will make a demand of society. Go to Korea. Go to Japan. Those are two countries that are dying. Their population is aging out. People are being found living in their places dead for 3 or 4 days. It's called kodokoshi. They gave it a name because the people under 35 are not marrying and dating. But here's the thing. You have women who are pet groomers, florists, teachers. That's not rich money. But they make demands of society. I told a story the other day. When I was broke in school, I had to sell a textbook. I had to go without. Tighten your belt. Men talk about we talk about how broke we was eating sardines and all that.
Cup of noodles.
You didn't want no sardine smoke with me.
But when I actually started dating a woman who was in another school, she was eating well, shrimp, crab, lobster, and everything else. I'm like, where you getting all this money? Are you broke? Food stamps. He's like, I'm a college student. I can qualify for food stamps. That never would have crossed my mind to go get food stamps because men accept if I don't have it, I don't get it. Women have been shown that if I don't have it, someone will do it for me.
I could do you know what for it.
And it's like, you know, I had a program where I asked a woman, and she's like, no, I was talking about survival. And if you got, and for the women who think I'm full of shit, go do this. Go to Amazon Prime. Go watch Bear Grylls, The Island, Season 2. Where they drop a group of men on one island, a group of women on an island for 6 weeks, and they got to just survive. By the end of day one, men that got from one side to the other, made a beachfront and start building and doing things, thriving. By the end of 6 weeks, men that damn near made the internet.
And this is what he says. I saw the interview
By
on
the
Jumper.
end of fifth week, by the end of week 5,
What the girls do?
by the end of week 5, they were still trying to lead by committee because no one, they didn't want to be led by nobody.
Yeah,
Well, you know girls don't be like each other.
But they have a system.
No,
The first thing, you 3 minutes without water, 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. Women cut their water making ability in half because they didn't want to wash out a container. Because these were modern British women who have grown up not having to do anything except go to the grocery store, this, that. You don't need a man in your house because you got 911. Yeah, but what happens when these systems stop working?
Yes.
When
You
there's
got
no war.
911.
So I will say this, that men and women, while we may have the similar situations, men understand that I got to get it out of the mud.
I gotta disagree with you a little bit though, because it's a lot of women, because there was no man figure there, having to get it out the mud.
Where'd they get it from?
Survival, they had to. There was nowhere else to get it from.
Such as what?
I'm talking about women with multiple kids that if they don't bring it home, the kids ain't eating, so they're gonna do whatever.
He's
So
saying, where
Where
did they
they-
go get it from?
Yeah,
They went out and got it
Let's
in
say
the mud.
food. Where'd they get the food from?
well, they did whatever they had to do to make some money to get this food.
Such as?
whether it's, I mean, listen, from the top to the bottom, they out there on the pole.
So if
they
you
out there-
prostituted yourself, where did you get that money from? You got it from a man.
Yeah, but not
you
all
got it-
women,
I'm-
single
I'm
mothers
giving
are
an example.
prostitutes.
I'm giving I'm going to the bottom. I'm going all the way to the bottom.
This is what tends to happen.
you-
I accept your premise, but where'd they get it from? Because legally, where'd they get it from?
Work 2 jobs.
work a couple jobs. So you said it still comes from a man?
Well,
regardless?
no. I'm not saying that because what I'm asking is, were these women getting any kind of government aid?
Oh, probably.
Sometimes.
Yeah, probably sometimes not.
That's a man.
No, let's be honest. You getting whether you got Section 8 food stamps, it's still coming from the government, which is the taxpayers are men.
I know single mothers that
Wow.
don't
I use my
receive
mom's
assistance.
as an
Okay,
example.
we know
personally, like saying,
they
you know what I mean? She went
exist.
on
All of our
system.
parents were
We
get
know
it out
they
the mud
exist,
women,
but
kinda.
still, women use the system more than men do. So when we say they get it out of the mud, you tell me getting out of the mud, and there's the same mud what men would have to get it out of.
Okay, but that's not the woman's fault.
Wait, so
said
wait,
anything
hold up.
about
So wait,
fault?
It's not about fault.
It's not.
Yeah,
I'm saying
we
I'm
have-
not knocking the women for that. If
It's not knocking
a guy
them.
could go and get a
It's
guy
not
could go
knocking
get
them
on the
either.
system if he was a single. If he could try that,
Whoa.
like you said, the college
No,
student,
see,
you didn't
when-
know
see-
to get on food stamps. You didn't think of that.
I didn't know because I know as a man that's not what it's there for. It's not to eat shrimp and lobster and crab.
But you.
Not just that, they're not as willing.
this is what I'm saying.
to-
This is what I'm
Wait,
saying. Tyson.
what?
I do know that this exists. What he's saying, but like, did you ever hear that there's a bit that says if white people could be dropped in any era and choose what they wanted to be, they would choose white. Because why wouldn't they choose white? All of this bullshit comes with being white. So that's what I feel like with the women. Yeah, all of this exists. Absolutely right. But why would they ever want to change that? That's like a superpower.
But then, wait. Hold up. Let me answer you.
If I could just sit down and send and say something and it come to me.
Now watch this. You can't pick and choose though when you want the best all the time. So wait, don't cut me off.
You know how many
wait.
people going to the Gucci store spending their shit? We just seen it with these checks they getting.
Yeah.
Niggas is taking the checks and going to the mall.
I know, but
so
watch,
I think that's common.
Watch
Taking
this.
this
Hold
Wait.
on. So to answer your question, if you can't, and that's the truth. If you have an advantage, it's not human nature to want to give up the advantage.
Indeed.
Here's the problem. Don't complain about the people who give you the advantage.
Exactly.
Because see, I hear a lot of this, women get it out of the mud and this, and so forth, and then I ask questions 3 levels deep, and it all falls apart because it's like, well, they're really not getting it like I'm saying they're getting it. It's different because the bottom line is men understand you have to produce. Men produce in mass. Women consume in mass. Of course, we can find anecdotal exceptions across the board. But in general, I have a year worth of a show talking to women across from one thing to another. And when given an opportunity, women want men to be providers. Fine. But are you the traditional women but are you the traditional woman that a man is supposed to provide for? No.
And that's my point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my
I
point
agree- I
is
agree with
you
that.
can't pick and
Wow.
choose when you want a traditional old school guy. My grandfather did X, Y, and Z. My grandfather provided, and your grandmother shut up and took what came with that. Your grandmother knew how to cook a sweet potato pie. You don't.
Your grandfather
So
had
you can't
another
pick and
family down
choose
the
when you
street.
want to be a new era woman,
She put up with it.
and then and when it benefits you, be an old school woman. You can't do that. You can't say I want a traditional relationship over here when it's beneficial, and then now you want to be a new age woman when it's beneficial. You can't do that.
Okay. See, here we are. This is see, because I had to let it get to where it was gonna go. I couldn't cut it off. He had a good point. He has a good point. This is real. This is very, very, very real. This is very real. People get very confused and conflicted with 2000s terms and 1980s terms, and I want basketball life, basketball love, and like the love and basketball like type of relationship. Like, no, you can't have that and then want to be influenced by Megan Thee Stallion. And I'm just saying, like, it's not the same thing. Like, Whitney Houston and Megan Thee Stallion are not the same people. So for you to want a Brandy Love type of romantic love style and then think you're a hot girl during that, that's not what it is. If you want to be living lavish but don't want to cook anything, you can get that, but it might not be with me. I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just certain things that you like don't cross the line, but also cross the line for some people. That's where it gets blurry. I don't understand why people don't understand that you can't have it all. Like, you can't have a cake and eat it too. Not all the time. I really wish. I pray it works like that for a lot of people. It may. There's only one percentage that live and get paid over $300,000 a year. So imagine how many percentage there are that actually like get what they want out of love. You know, it's just you gotta be a little slim. We're not saying niggas is out there settling, but you definitely not out there. You definitely not out there like racking and stacking everything like a burrito. I'm not gonna lie. Like, for me, I'm just chilling. You might just be chilling. Like, you might just be chilling and honestly, truthfully, like waiting to see something that, like, when you're ready at the same time, not rushing that whole situation and understanding what you got. But in the meantime, you gotta understand there's a lot of low key, I'm letting a lot of things window out, or I'm about to let the joints grow up. For me, it's like grow up a little bit. Y'all grow up right now. Well, when I meet you, it's like, okay, like you got some time to just sizzle out. That's cool. I'm not even tripping about that. That's tough, honestly. So yeah, I truly believe. I honestly believe what he's talking about.
You can't say, you get what I'm saying? Like, you want to go out to.
One thing that bothers people about my show is I talk to women who call into the show in real time. I'm not making it up. You can go hear what they're saying. And many women are like, what are you going to argue with? I had a woman 31 years old the other day talking about the same thing. God going to send me a husband. God going to send me a husband. God going to send me a husband. Then it turns out that, it's up on my channel right now. Do you know how to cook? Do you know how to do this? Do you know how to do that? Are you a Christian wife? Because you talking about God with these long eyelashes and everything else. And it turns out that you said I'm a cooperative woman and I'm a Christian, but then when I ask you about your previous relationships, you run the men off because of your mouth. Now,
That's not cooperation.
what we've been told is the problems in relationships. What we've been told and marketed to from Color Purple, which was BS. There was controversy around the Color Purple at the time it released. Go look at it. Still on microfiche. They said the impact that movie's had on the black culture is been catastrophic. Before
I was talking about 11 basketball, but dang.
80%. 80%, the most married people in Jim Crow segregation and everything else. But after that, what do we have? Now we get Color Purple, Waiting to Exhale. Then, we mentioned Brother Tyler Perry and all his movies. We get a woman's side of it, and it's always the men are the problems. Okay.
But there's a reason we always get the woman's side of it.
No, I said that this morning. Did I not?
There's a reason.
I said
That's
Why?
It's
Why?
profitable.
I don't really like. Yeah,
It's profitable.
Pac told us the women buy the album.
Yeah, I don't really like,
women are the
and I don't
consumers.
like.
You
that
said
narrative
Pac
that
told us
Tyler
women
Perry
buy the
preaches.
albums.
He's a black man. You got to congratulate and appreciate everything he's done. But in Tyler Perry movies, if you watch most of the narratives, the wealthy black man
Is the villain.
ain't shit.
Yeah, he's nasty.
He ain't shit.
He's nasty.
The broke black man is the savior.
So it's dark-skinned, rich black man abuser, then light-skinned,
Bum.
blue-collar,
Yes.
with a
Not
love
bum,
for,
not bum, but
love, with a
blue-collar
love
dude.
for Jesus, gonna come and save
Yes,
and restore
indeed,
you.
indeed.
And see, the thing is,
Indeed.
all right. So what we don't have is the other side of the story. Sister Shahrazad Ali in 1989 wrote that book, The Black Man's Guide to Understanding a Black Woman. She took a lot of heat for that. And if you go back and look at some of the stuff on Donahue, Geraldo, she was saying some of the same things that everybody else in this country has had their behaviors and everything examined, except in our community with our women.
The black woman.
Black women have been held apart from the consequences or accountability for their choices. You're free to make your choices. You can want what you want, but accept what comes along with it. And this is why, so many women are like, well, who are you to even say something? Now, wait a minute. You can talk about you don't want no scrub and this and that. Y'all can say some of the most egregious stuff, but if a man just happens to speak a truth, then all of a sudden he needs
Speak
to be
up.
canceled. He's Satan. He's a menace.
gay.
He's
Right.
gay.
He don't
he's
like
this, that.
women.
I have a push. I have a pushback for you.
Okay.
What do you say to the women that have no problem with you saying the things that you say, but that have an issue with you profiting from the things that you say?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
It doesn't?
No, that makes no sense.
A lot of
the same women have a problem with Steve Harvey profiting.
Yeah, so again,
When you cater to them,
hold on,
do they have a problem with you monetizing?
Again,
Wha-
this is a
wha-
unique issue for a black man. Gordon Ramsay can profit from calling you a stupid effing little monkey and have Hell's Kitchen. Simon Cowell can tell you, are you serious? And they love him.
Yes.
But if a black man, see, the rules for black men are unique. We're supposed to do
Tell 'em.
everything and ask for nothing.
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 Nothing. Yes.
Yet,
Yeah.
Olivia, who wrote Scandal and all
Yes.
these
Tell
different shows,
'em.
they can
Tell
profit
'em.
showing some of the worst behaviors. But see, it's a black woman. Or you can get up and pander to black women and tell them, see, everybody talks about, you've been divorced. Y'all don't say that to Steve Harvey.
That's what I just said.
They don't say, y'all
A lot of them told me that you were divorced. I wasn't.
Yeah,
That's
but
not.
who the
I
hell?
don't
Who the
care.
hell? No, they say who the hell is he to tell people with all his failed relationships?
Hold on, but see, here's the thing. When we don't like what a black man says, then we try his past.
Yep.
See, nobody cares when you're saying when you tell them what they want to hear. And what does it have to do with anything? 2 + 2 is 4. I use a lot of facts, data, statistics that anyone
just
can go
it,
look
yeah.
up themselves. And that's what bothers them because it's not an argument. It's like, well, we really did. What you know what the real part is? They pissed because I'm not kissing their ass and telling them what they want to hear.
Indeed.
See, if I was doing what everybody else did, oh, they'd make me a multi-millionaire. I don't need it.
Well, no. Let me give you one more reason they pissed too. Now, hold on. Let me give it to you. Your sweetie take. They was on your ass.
Oh, which one?
Which one?
The one.
the one he called-
we called her.
we
called her.
He said,
six.
which
Called her
one?
six. They called her 6.
Called her adjustable.
They was
I called her
on
an
your
adjustable 6.
Oh, I missed the adjustable part.
Adjustable 6. Yeah.
But
the
his
hell is
rank,
it? What does that mean?
but no,
What
watch
the
this.
hell?
But he's the same guy that ranks Beyonce at an 8.
Don't stop. Ish, I want to hear what he has to say about her sweetie 6.
An adjustable 6, meaning she can go from cute to pretty. But see, when I judge women, I don't judge them. I judge women by the same metric. This is where people get into the image consulting thing. I look at you, fresh face, no makeup, your natural state.
Yeah.
And if you have ever seen her pictures, fresh face, natural state, she's a cute woman who can be pretty. But I don't think she's ever going to be considered to be beautiful or gorgeous. That does not mean she's bad. But there has to be a
But what if
ranking.
she's already considered beautiful and gorgeous?
But
By
he's
who?
saying strip away
By
all of
whom?
the accessories and you get what you get.
See, this is why when I talk about a scale, first off, there are people who hate the whole notion. There's a scale or there's a Eurocentric standard of beauty. I'm like, look, Pam Grier. Go back to the 70s. Pam Grier is an 8.
Yes. Jackie
But
Kennedy.
she looks good. But the thing is, back then you would have seen someone like Diane Carroll. She's up in that 9 category. Dorothy Dandridge would have been up around that 10 area. There's always going to be levels to this. But what women today are saying is they're all 10s.
and
they're
they
all
don't believe
great.
that. They don't
Listen,
believe that
but this is where-
themselves.
listen,
It's
man.
PC.
If I have a
Wait, who was he talking about just now?
Go back to the 70s. Pam Grier is an 8.
Yes.
Pam Grier? Hold on, bruh. We gonna have to see something real quick.
Jackie
But
Kennedy.
she looks good. But
Pam Grier. Oh. Oh. Okay. Okay. Ah. Okay, Pam Grier.
But the thing is, I'm like, look, Pam Grier. Go back to the 70s. Pam Grier is an 8.
Yes.
But,
Jackie Kennedy.
but she looks good. But the thing is, back then you would have seen someone like Diane Carroll.
Diane Carroll. Okay. What is... Okay. Oh, that's what he like. I mean, she's alright.
She's up in that 9 category. Dorothy Dandridge would have been up around that 10.
Dorothy Dandridge. Oh. Oh. Why is that kind of like Yo, why is she kind of like? She's kind of tough. Hmm. Wow. She a movie star? Yeah. Wow. 1954. Oh, she got me. Oh, that's her daughter? Somebody. Never mind. We gotta go chat. Sorry, we just being federal right now.
10 is there's always going to be levels to this. But what women today are saying is they're all 10s.
And they don't believe that. They don't believe that
But this
themselves.
is where, listen, man.
It's PC.
If I have
It's PC.
because
I gotta
everybody
go
got a
pee.
platform today. And if on my platform I'm a woman and I got 30 million people that if I say that wall is blue, they're gonna say the wall is blue with me, then what the fuck do it matter what else is happening in the real world, right? Because that's all these kids are doing on the internet.
No, that's not true though, because then you get into a realism situation versus an idealistic situation. So idealistically, you can say every woman is a 10, every woman is beautiful. But do you really go
That's
home
when
and
they do
believe that?
beauty's in the eye
Because
of the
no,
beholder, blah,
because
blah,
if
blah,
you
blah, blah.
believe that, you wouldn't be buying a shitload of makeup every fucking day. You wouldn't be take an hour to get dressed before you leave the house, making up your face if you thought you were a 10 already.
Well, and that goes to and that's the point I'm going to make because people say, well, you can't say this, that. If that's the case, then walk out of the house.
Exactly.
There you are.
If you think in your heart of hearts that you're a 10,
I like
why
women
do
that
you
wear makeup and dress fly, man. I don't know. If
No, we're not even talking about dressing. We're talking about
but
makeup.
hold on. But guys, makeup has always existed.
It has.
Why, when you go back in the 70s, did you see women with minimal makeup? They didn't even have veneers and this and that. That was just their natural state.
This one realization is what helped me pass all 4 CPA exams in 3 months, and that is that there are actually 2 versions of every topic, but only one version actually matters for testing. Most CPA candidates spend most of their study time on the wrong version, and
Dang, bro.
There's a movie called I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. And what was that? Tracy, what was that one lady's name? Real thin woman.
I know the scene you're talking about.
Yeah,
too.
Keenan Ivory Wayans takes her home from the club. And he's like, well, I gotta tell you, I really don't have a 12-inch. He's like, that's okay. My eyes aren't really green. She starts taking her contact off. And it was a joke because she takes her contacts off,
hair,
a wig off,
nails,
she takes off a fake buck and everything else. That was a joke in the 90s. Ha ha. No, it ain't a joke. That's what it is today.
That's what it is.
You walk around Atlanta today, and there are men dressed like women who look like women because of the excessive makeup, the colored hair, and all the long fingernails. You're like, okay, this excessive adornment is for who? It ain't for you, or me. It's for them.
It's for them.
We don't like that. Men have been asking for women to have your natural look, your natural hair, your natural shape, your natural beauty for the longest. But they'll tell you we do it because you like white women or this or that. Men aren't asking for this stuff. Men are not asking people who make middle income to spend $700 on a lace front wig.
Because you're like
But
white.
Or
women-
buy $2,000 shoes.
But,
Wait,
but
hold
if
on
you
one
do-
second.
But if you do it, baby.
Right, I was going
But
in
if
in
you
their
do
defense
it-
though.
But if you feel it,
I talk
baby.
to a lot of women and they'll say, yeah, you claim y'all like natural this, that, and the third. But
No, I like it.
what pictures you liking on Instagram?
I like it
They
all.
ain't
I like it
natural.
all too.
I like
So
it
watch
all.
this. I can.
I'm just
answer.
saying this is their point. Now,
Watch this. Out of all of the women that we know, right? And be honest here. How many of them are getting a ring? You got all these accessories. You got this fat ass. You got all this makeup.
Oh, yeah, this
Is
fat.
it really working?
Not my place to say.
what if that's not
It's
their
not
goal?
my place.
And I'm
No,
not.
from your own observation.
It's not my place.
Oh, I haven't been running around looking for that.
No, but you know people that get married.
I don't know a whole lot.
You get what I'm
I
saying?
don't know a
You know,
whole lot.
The
I'm
thing
going
is,
back to what you said because this happens all the time. Women will say, yeah, you say you don't want one thing, but what are you liking on this? I am so damn tired of women telling
Facts.
me
Hold
what
on.
we think and what we want.
Instead
We
of
say what we want, and you know
you
why this is? Because
dismiss it.
80% of us was raised by women, and we're
Yep.
so used to women leading us, they think they own us,
Ooh.
He's right.
and they don't.
That's true.
Ooh. Ooh.
We're the only group of men that demur to our women. Go over to Chinatown and see if this shit happens. Go over to the Middle East. Go ask Mohammed or Ahmed what they don't put up with this mess. We put up with it because we have such an irrational, dysfunctional reverence for women in our culture because we have a matriarchy to where they try to make us question our own minds.
It's our fault.
No,
Would you agree with that?
bro.
Ultimately, the black man is leaving the
I will
household.
say that there is. I want to be careful when I say with that because that's going to get misused. There are some structural things that happen that it's
not
in
our
the
fault
60s
now. It's never our fault.
when the Great Society came in, and Lyndon Johnson put in the Great Society, they did not expect to happen what happened. Go read the Moynihan Report and Moynihan Scissors. They did not expect to give government assistance and food stamps to the black community and for women to choose the check over the men. They were actually confused as to why this happened. I was like, wait a minute, we thought we would give this to you for a little bit, and then once you kind of got stable, then you get back with. But no, they took the benefit.
Yeah.
So is it the man's fault that you were locked out of unions, unable to get equal jobs and things like that? No, it's not their fault. It's your ultimate responsibility that you were not able to provide for a family you have, yet you can go look at it yourself. Prior to 1960, 65, we were married at a rate of 80%. Broke, Jim Crow, segregated, lynched, everything else. But we had us a community, we had HBCUs, we had churches, we stuck together. We had black business, we had black buses, this, that. But as soon as it came in, when the women were given a choice, far more chose this the men. And that's the original quote unquote sin that we have yet to deal with in the black community. That makes black men feel some kind of way, and black women don't like to acknowledge the fact of that.
I have a question for you.
I have two other things.
Okay, but are you taking that statistic of the rate at which black women are marrying, right? Mm-hmm. And saying they're unable to marry versus the modern woman today maybe just not viewing marriage the way she was brought up to view it?
What?
1 out of 4, 26% of black women were married. The next lowest rate is 54% on white women. Still double. Yeah. Still double.
And if that was your mantra that marriage is not as important, you wouldn't put the stipulation that I can only submit to a man that makes a certain dollar amount. So you're open to marriage when a man makes a certain dollar amount, but if he falls beneath that threshold, you're closed off to marriage.
But that's only in the black community. It's only for black men. That's us. Because not only let's go ahead and go all the way in since we're going there. The stipulation is a black man has to be a superhero. You got to be able to provide 4 or 5 times the rate of what any other man would provide, and you got to be a sexual professional. See, if you don't have all those things, you're not high value. You're not quality. And that's what my show is kind of showing. It's let women say what's on their mind.
Mm-hmm. He does. He asks a series of
let
questions.
you say what's on your mind.
And they answer them. And then, based on your answers, he assesses the data that you've given him via his questions.
I don't know why they'd fall for some of them questions.
Because they're speaking. Because they don't see it. No. But again, before they get tripped up, they think they hold some.
That's what I'm saying. They think they know what they're talking about.
Ma'am, he don't. And so all the people that says he's harsh and brash, I've seen enough of them where he starts off the interview mild-mannered, respectful.
I reflect what I get back.
Ma'am, please stop cutting me off. Ma'am, you called my platform to get advice. Let me advise you.
A lot of the things.
And when he says something that they don't want to hear.
Anybody know over 40?
Yes, me.
Okay.
You like that? I'm still
Go back to when you were 10 years old. I want you to imagine a 20-year-old woman speaking to a 50-year-old man. You wouldn't hear the tone, the way in which I see many 20-year-old women approach a man that's no. In particular, calling in my show, talking to me like I'm your age. I'm like, well, so there is no with far too many women, there is no level of credibility a man has to where he can't be checked. See, one of the things is what you tend to hear more often than anything else is, why'd you go on his show, girl? If that was me, I'd have cussed him out. See, there's a problem.
See?
We've allowed one-way violence in our community for far too long. One-way aggression. See, all these men in this room know that there are lines that we can't cross because
Hold on, bro.
fuck this
Hold on,
podcast.
bro.
We're gonna have to go handle business outside.
Bro, I don't think you understand. This nigga is talking like in COVID time. He's in COVID time. He's in COVID right now. He's in the past. Talking like this. And this shit is still going on. I promise you to this day. It's crazy. It's kind of crazy. It's really crazy. No, what is this? I don't really want to touch this because if I touch it, yeah, it's crazy.
Because there's a low-level threat of violence between our men. Women don't have that. So they can say whatever, do whatever, be as foul as they want to because it's like, so let me get this right. You would have went into that man's place of business and cussed him out as if you could do something
And
if
they
you decide.
can. No recourse.
Because they assume, because if you touch me, then I'm going to call somebody, which is who?
Wow.
Which is a
white
man.
Yeah.
A man.
A man, and it's typically not expecting. When you think about who's going to show up, you're not expecting a woman to show up. You're expecting a man to show up, and let's be honest, most are expecting a white man to show up. I'm like, you got to think of the level of disrespect. All men are asking is for women to be nice and cooperative. That is it. They're not asking for you to be supermodels, IG models. They're just asking, can you just be nice, cooperative, fit, and childless? Is that much to ask for? But that's a huge lift today.
He's on it. He's on it.
Yeah,
You can.
No, I'm joking. No,
Yeah,
I'm joking. But once you reach a certain age,
No, I can throw it in there. I'm gonna tell you why I'm throwing
What
it in there.
you
I'm not gonna
talking
back up
about?
there because
Yes, you
look,
can.
there are too many forms of. I'm 52 years old. When I used to go into the grocery store to ask for condoms, they clowned you. We need a price check on condoms because especially where I'm from, they thought they could morally justify it. But now we have women have access to over 33 forms of birth control before and or after. They're all kind of their adoption, all these things. No child gets born today that a woman did not want to carry. To carry the full term. That's her choice.
I would agree.
So if you choose to have a child without the benefit of marriage, fine. Yeah. But you accept everything that comes along with it. Because there's enough information out there to show that statistically, a child is not going to be in the best position to have a best outcome this way. Can it happen? Sure. Because flip the script. If men were to get out here and just make babies reckless, they call you something. There's names for it. Yeah. So
that is this conversation right here, Kev, is where I was really on the hook with just wanting to hear more that you had to say. I was watching you with a young woman, and the conversation somehow was just based on, hey, whatever you did, was it best for the child? She was saying she moved to wherever her family was, and it was her family that gave her the advice, and I didn't even really want to move, but she was doing all of that, and you just kept it on, yeah, I hear you, but was that best for the child? And I don't even really think she still was getting nothing you were saying, and for me, I was like, oh, see, this is deep. This is deep. That was deep for me because that's been some of my experience in trying to explain or have the conversation like, hey, I know you looking out for you, but at what point is it okay for me to say it's not about you and not come off like a dick?
I think that we, especially in our community, have normalized the absentee father, right? And so when women are making these decisions and these choices, the father's wants don't even really come into the decision making.
Well, yeah.
It's further than that.
Yeah.
It's further.
It's just further than that.
We've normalized prosperity and like coming from the Christian church when the prosperity gospel started coming in. I don't want to get too religious in this, but we've normalized that you deserve to live your best life. Your happiness as an individual is paramount. And when you tell people that, then that means I'm up here and everything else is a secondary concern. So when I turn around and say marriage ain't about love or romance, it's about duty. What? We're the most Christian folks. When it comes to the most Christian of unions, we also want to get new wave because somebody mentioned that granddad may have had a family on the other side of town. Yeah, but you didn't hear about it till the funeral.
Sure did.
Because grandma had a duty to keep her mouth closed, and granddad had a duty to keep it held. The stuff you hear about your grandparents and great grandparents is after they left. You still hold them in high regard.
You do. That is
Are
true.
we as serious of a people as they were? Hell no.
No.
Because we're a bunch of in our feelings, child. I want to be happy
Selfish.
all the time.
Selfish.
Me. Nope.
That's true.
And what do we got?
A
Fractured.
dysfunctional.
Everybody's doing their own thing. Can't nobody say nothing. You, as a man, as a grown man, you can look at somebody's kid that you know is doing something wrong. You can't say nothing for fear of what their mama gonna say or this or that.
The community's gone. That's true. So we all hear our parents say, "Yo, when I did something out in the street, Mr. Johnson will whoop my ass and take me home,
and then get my
and
ass
then my
whooped.
parents will whip my ass too."
I ask this question to women all the time. All right, who leads? Who leads? Because if you want the fundamental building block of any government, any country, any state, any community, any society is the family.
Government.
Is the family. And when it gets right down to it, that's a mother and a father. We are different.
Yeah.
If you have children, you can sit back and know that you and the mother of your child have thought different things about that child. But whose word follows? And far too often today, women are leading. So it's like, well, if I asked you, how do I get to Bergdorf Goodman? Everybody in here would tell me a different route. We'd all end up at the same destination. Women are far too worried about their destination being right instead of their route being right instead of the outcome. A man's nature is to discipline, correct, structure. A woman's nature is to offer nurture or feelings. So guess what we get? We've gotten a generation of softer men and a generation of harder women. They've told their daughters, don't worry about no man, don't worry about this, get your education, and such and so forth. And they've told their sons
That
quite
makes
the
no
opposite.
sense,
And then
though.
the funny thing is, you end up raising the very men that you decry of not being able to
Yeah,
lead.
that you-
So when I
that
say
you
who
didn't
leads,
want.
forget every one of the men in this room. Where's the camera? Fuck us. Forget us all. What about your boys?
What about your sons?
What about your boys? Black boys are reading at the 4th grade level. The next group of leaders are coming from your sons. What are you doing with them? And if you have the money to put one of your children to college, is it going to be your son? Are you actually making a differentiation for your son versus your daughters? Because you want your daughters to have somebody that can lead, but you're not teaching any kind of leadership in your home. They get mad when I start talking about this because I'm like, okay,
Oh, damn. That
you
nigga's-
say in your
that nigga's
30s,
going
all of a sudden
crazy,
you're going
bruh.
to just flip this.
Woo. That nigga's going crazy, bro. Not gonna lie. Damn. He talking about. Damn. Hold on. I'm sorry. That was.
Men that you decry of not being able to lead. So when I say who leads, forget every one of the men in this room. Where's the camera? Fuck us. Forget us all. What about your boys?
What about your sons?
What about your boys? Black boys are reading at the 4th grade level. The next group of leaders are coming from your sons. What are you doing with them? And if you have the money to put one of your children to college, is it going to be your son? Are you actually making a differentiation for your son versus your daughters? Because you want your daughters to have somebody that can lead, but you're not teaching any kind of leadership in your home. They get mad when I start talking about this because I'm like, okay, you say in your 30s, all of a sudden you're going to just flip the script and all of a sudden become this cooperative, submissive woman. What history do you have with even cooperating with a man? And I ask a question, did you have these brothers growing up? Yeah. Did your mother serve your father? Yeah. Did you serve your brothers? What?
What?
When you go into a Hispanic family and
I was just about
go
to
to a Hispanic family and the girls of the family serve the boys. Now, why is it that a guy who may have come into this country legally or illegally, especially if you're in the South, I make this thing all the time. A guy can come in this country illegally, stand outside a Home Depot or the Day Labor Center and do almost anything, sell oranges, whatever you think for money, but go home and get a submissive, respectful, loyal woman. He ain't got to be a millionaire, but he can get that. But yet, I got to go to Harvard.
You don't know what an AI work management platform is? Yikes.
But yet I gotta go
Here's
to Harvard.
3 new AI power.
No.
And Joe's with me often. So I had this conversation with one of our female friends, and she said demographically, the black woman and the Asian man are the two, like, falling
Yeah, I've heard that.
groups, right? And I said, why? And she said, because the black man has no problem dating outside of his race. And the Asian woman has no problem dating outside of her race. And I told her, this girl, she makes a nice amount of money. And I said, yo, because you guys snicker and laugh at the $70,000, $80,000 a year man. And Maria and Becky will welcome him with open arms.
Well, let me tell your friend, you're full of shit. Ma'am, you are full of shit. Black men traditionally are the more racial loyal of any group.
Racial
That's it.
loyal.
Women are the ones that tend to, because you want to know who dates out the most? Asian women, white men. So the net of it is, if black women were as sexually, as desired sexually as black men, do you not think they would date out as often as we would? But the thing is, the black men we start talking about, they are still saying, I want a woman. With all these situations, modern woman, this or that, still, when we marry, we are marrying a black woman at an 86% rate. But see, they want to talk about the 14% that don't do it.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that.
And if you even take it even further, it's really exacerbated when you start getting into things outside of what I consider corporate America. When you start getting into entertainment, athletics, entertainment and athletics, the numbers are overrepresented.
Gotcha.
But if you look in where people are making, having to go to work a traditional 9 to 5 day, most people marry people that look like themselves. But see, that's a deflection argument.
It is.
Because
It's
at the end of the day, it's like, okay, ma'am, let's accept it. All you got to do is find one. Why can't you find one? And you ask your friend, have you ever been with a man that's suitable or reasonable? And here's where it's going to come. Yeah, back in college, I was engaged once, but why didn't that happen? Who broke it off? And I'm going to tell you, almost 100% of the time, they're the ones leaving. You honestly think that, these women honestly think that they can leave a man in their 20s and 30s, play the field, do what they want to, and in their early 20s, and then wait later on in life and get a man that's more valuable as their value's going down. That's what's been marketed to them.
But their value, I think you're right. I'm agreeing with you. They think, though, that their value is rising because they are making more money. So the things that they value in a man, they think we value in them. And that's one of your biggest arguments. Man, your money matters not to a man that has his own money.
Before y'all have this exchange really quickly, as someone who's been married twice, do you want to get married again?
I would get married again because if I decide I want more kids, which that would be one situation, or number two, you're going to have somebody at the end of their life.
Word.
But the thing is, every woman I deal with, they watch my program. They hear exactly what I say.
They hear what you
and
stand
they know
for.
exactly what I stand for. And I would tell you this, I don't budge. Because I've done it twice and I realized that I shouldn't have. I don't fault my former relationships for not working, because I grew up the same way we all grew up. I didn't grow up in the position of thinking that you need to be responsible for everything. You need to have a plan and an outcome. You need to have a place for a woman to nest and not put pressure on them. Pressure's made for shoulders, not for hips. See, in the black community, we saw so many women doing stuff that I think many men put undue pressure on a woman that's not really built for the female. So you'll never hear me talk anything negative about my exes. I take 100% responsibility, even for the stuff that I could arguably say fell short on their side, not their responsibility. Sexual marketplace value is one of the things that tends to upset women more than anything else. So I asked the question, what product on the market increases with time, with age and use?
You put me in a real tough spot when I have to keep a straight face.
When you say sexual, we quote it.
marketplace.
We
No,
quote
that's
it.
what I'm saying. Like,
Sexual
nigga, what?
Tell you
marketplace
something, buddy.
value.
I won't
says
say it
that?
anywhere else. But I perfectly understand.
We all understand it, but they don't, and so that's why. Yeah.
Women
That's so
have been
funny, my
told
guy.
that college, money, socioeconomic status, experience increases your value.
It doesn't.
No,
It doesn't.
it decreases it increases your asking price because of a thing called hypergamy. Women typically want men to have at least what they have or more. So I'm not. If you wait
Damn.
until you are making a certain amount of money, it's going to be harder for you to accept a man working less. If you get a certain level of education, this or that, you're going to think it raises your overall value. To where you hear me ask all women, how tall are you?
And how much do you weigh?
Dress size. How much do you weigh? If you had to rate yourself, I'm like, that's your S&B. That's what it kind of starts. Then there gets to be a question. It gets to be a problem because when women rank themselves around the average range, I'm like, in what world did average women get above average men? Consistently.
They want to fight you at that point.
Today's world, though.
Yeah, that's like, nigga, what?
Okay,
Shit.
okay.
not true.
Now, hold on. Now, there's a
Shit.
caveat.
He's like, yeah.
If
what?
you are an average woman, you get you have an above average man later in life. He doesn't start that way. You get him when he's young. See, this whole high value thing has two components. Many women want a man who's already high value, or you don't want to build a bob or build a boot.
Yeah, no way.
All right, well, great. Then you go ahead and hook up with him when he's getting it out the mud, when he's living in a one-bedroom studio.
Yeah, go
and y'all
ahead.
get I call it an IKEA marriage. Y'all get that IKEA marriage. You know, and,
What is wrong with this guy, man?
With the one-liners. Yeah, we all know what I
yeah, because you know it look real nice with his particle board and shit.
that's
Gonna get the IKEA marriage, and y'all do that, and y'all split the, we'll get one venti mochaccino frappuccino lot, and y'all split that shit. Y'all act like y'all doing something, one scone and everything else, and then you build and build and build, and then once he gets to his place,
They don't want that though.
well, I don't care what you want.
They don't
I don't
want
care
that.
what you.
Yeah,
I don't.
okay,
I don't care what
want.
you want. I care what you can get.
I agree.
And see, the thing is, if men don't run around talking about I feel, and I want, men think, do, and we accept our situation. We all want a certain caliber of woman, but until you were in the position to be able to have and maintain that, could you get it? Could you get it and keep it?
Why is that hard to say for men? That
Listen, buddy.
realization we've come to a
It's
long
not
time ago.
hard.
I'm
What?
not going to shoot for Halle Berry if I know I'm not on Halle Berry's
Well,
level.
hold on. See, let
Nor
me
do I
say-
feel entitled to
Let me
do
say,
so.
but see, the thing
Nigga,
is,
what?
I'm gonna say that story.
That made no sense, my nigga. Like, duh. You shoot what you want for. That made no sense, honestly, because it's like me. I can go through any hoop, my nigga. Like, we're finding whatever hoop we can go through. We're trying to figure out what hoop is good for us, what lane is good for us. We're trying to figure out what car is good. We driving different cars. Like, what do you mean? If you can't drive a certain car, you get out and drive a different one. You don't just drive a Honda because you can't drive a BMW. That's stupid. So I want to hear what he says, if he says something, but that was dumb.
But here's the thing: is even if you did, let's just say let's just say you ran into Halle Berry in New York City, and y'all did do something. Halle Berry wouldn't all of a sudden be your new level. You'd say, I caught her one
That was
day.
an outlier. I caught her one day on a nice
It was a good
outlier.
day.
night.
That's a story you always got to tell. But all of a sudden, you wouldn't walk around thinking, well, hey, Halle, hey, next time you're in town, what? No, man, that was tequila. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
But
now,
wait,
buddy.
Now Halle Berry's not your standard.
I got you, but
I don't want Sally Richardson next, and Nia Long next, and J Lo next, and I make 40 grand.
All that shit is awesome,
Wait,
but my
what
point
is this
was
nigga
in
talking
today's
about?
world, so that example has to continue. Okay, I slept with Ollie, right? And I leave thinking the same way you said. Oh, man, what a night, man. Who knew? Blah, blah, blah. But 2 weeks later, another one of them pop up, and it happened again. I didn't expect that one. I didn't plan for that one either.
You gotta
shit.
You gotta have a high S.
Hey, that's pretty cool that happened twice. I'm gonna go ahead on about my way. Hey, 5 hours later, here go another one. Wait a second.
Indeed.
And now the game has changed.
No, right. But for
now
those,
it's not an anomaly.
but he answers to them as well. Your SMV is then high.
Well, see, for men,
Do you want me to tell you about? Oh, you got it. You're in a relationship.
Look, their SMV is high.
What?
See, that's not happening to average 5'4", 170-pound women. That's happening to women that are bumping
Yes.
into high-value men.
I think it is, but that's the minority, so I'm not going to
And
argue.
it's a minority.
hold on. Here's what's okay.
And it's
so
sexual.
So a couple of things. One, men know what your credit rating is and what your resources like. That's what kind of woman you can afford. That's generally what we know. We know what our resource pool is and the kind of women we can afford. Sure, if we got a Halle Berry or if we got some one-offs, that does not give you an 800 credit score and a $400,000 income. That just gives you the ability to get it off the lip, some game. Maybe you're looking right, maybe you're smelling right.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Maybe your
saying.
particular brand of dude is in style right now, and that's what it is. But men are at least realistic about that. Here's what happens though with women, because so many women want these men who are quote unquote high value, and I've defined that. You got 100% of women, the Petra principle, going for the top 20%, top 10% of men. And guys, up here, you will know that if he can hit Halle Berry, he'll hit it. But if he can hit that 6 and ain't nobody looking, he gonna hit that too. The problem is the way women look at that is women look at that man as their new standard. They're like, well, if I can get him and he's with her, that puts me on her level. And that's not how it works. We look at these things differently. So it's not as though average women have not dealt with high value men, because I account for that on my show. Many times women say, I deal with high value men, I deal with high value, and I say I don't worry about dealing. Marriage.
Did they commit?
We judge by weddings. And see, that tells the story. Women are judged ultimately by the kind and caliber of man that they can keep. And many of these women cannot keep a man like that.
That's true.
Which bothers them, because it's like, well, if I can deal with him, well, if you can't keep him, what does it matter? And what bothers a lot of women about my show is that it's really common sense and basic. It's just telling them something that men know. You can't have it all. Life is about choices and trade-offs.
And they don't want to compromise. And they
You
call,
went on.
they
No, they
call
want to
com-
see you shit on some more men, too.
No, they call compromise settling.
They want them to bring
They
some
call
more men on
compromise
there.
settling. That's what they
I
call it.
I got 3 years of that. See, what they don't do is go back into my catalog, because even on World Star, they put up some of my older videos. It's all out there.
It is.
And even when I do say stuff to men or non-black women, I don't get credit for that. I mean, I had a woman call on the show the other day, and she called herself. She wanted to start checking a black woman. I'm like, oh well, no, I don't. You don't get those kind of privileges over here.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like,
That's not gonna get the clicks though.
well, so what is it they really want? They don't want me to say it.
To be honest.
Because what's starting to happen is I'm not rude. I'm not cursing you out. I'm not initiating drama. I'm not trolling. Women are calling into my show voluntarily, and we're having conversations in real time. And what it's starting to do is it's starting to make it harder to refute what I'm saying. The stuff I quote, you can look up the numbers. And it's not like I'm just, calling you a bunch of bitches and hoes and this and that. Da. That's the problem. And it's starting to have an impact. Now, women are starting to look at things differently. Guys are starting to look at things differently. And the people who really have the issue do they have a desire to change or improve anywhere? Or do they think they're right?
That's killer. Do you really have the ability to look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I need to change a few things? Or
Don't give me the answer.
No, I'm just saying. Or is this guy
I know, I
crazy?
heard what he said,
hates
man.
women.
I left it there for a reason.
Who the hell is he?
Say
He's
that.
failed in his relationships. Blah, 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 blah. Those are all
It's easy to
things that
find
allow you to dismiss everything, all the factual information that's been shared. It allows you to be dismissive. Either that or the defensive thing. You immediately go into defense mode when somebody says something that you don't agree with.
Sign language.
I got to go up against 2 Kevin Samuels. This ain't even fair.
So it's just like,
This ain't even
so
fair.
I have something
We knew
called
this is where
I have
would
something
ish,
called
though. We knew that.
I have something called sign language. shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. And typically, when I'm starting to get real pushback, especially from a woman, shame, your mama black.
Yep.
Like, how can you say this against a black woman? You owe black women. I've heard black women actually say, I owe black women because I talk to black women. I'm like, do you owe black men? I'm like, the owe only goes to us, to you. A black woman raised you and this and that. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Then if the shame don't work, the insults, you gay, you gay, you gay, you gay. I'm like, you a grown damn woman. Are we on the playground? I'm not gay. You know, part of me being gay, ask your girlfriend if I'm gay. But it's like, it's the same thing, gay, 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 because that's the first thing, it's one of the first insults you want to do. You know, it's like, you know, DMX just passed, and now people are wanting to cancel him because of lyrics he made back in the late 90s.
I won't let him.
But the thing is, but because we throw that word around too much in the black community, I'm like, now wait a minute. Black women have calling a man gay, but then your makeup artist, your hairstylist, and some of your best friends are gay men. What are you talking about?
And you love them.
Right, because
they pandering to you.
And then the guilt, you know, you're embarrassing us, you know, you're making us look bad.
And I'm not going to say that that's why they love him.
But there's many things. But the ultimate one is the need to be right. Mm-hmm. The need to be right. That's why it goes on and on. It's like 2 + 2 is 4. Yeah, but I know a friend. I know this. I know that. And it's like, all right. Are you trying to move this thing forward? Are you trying to get a better outcome, or do you want things to just be where they are? And that's the thing. I don't begrudge what women want, what men want, anybody wants. I just ask, can you get it? Can you get it? What's the likelihood of getting it? And if you can't get it, are you willing to make the changes and adjustments that are going to be needed to get that kind of outcome? And more often than not, you know, women are saying they don't want, more often than not, women have never asked themselves that question. They just assumed it was going to happen. It's like this whole notion of getting married earlier. And you ask a lot of, especially women in our community, they don't think they should be even considering marriage until 30. Mm-hmm. 30. I'm like, well, just run the numbers on that. 30. You meet them at 30, 6 months to a year, you're engaged. You want to have a year marriage. I'm like, the numbers don't make sense.
6 months to a year is not even engagement time. It's more like 3-4 years you're dating before you get
and the thing is,
pop the question.
The numbers, and the thing is, the numbers don't make sense. And let's go all the way back around, because there's a financial incentive to keep men and women separate, because there's a rent for this apartment, a rent for that apartment, power in this, power for that. There's more money when people are single. When you're married, you have to actually, you know, consolidate households. There's somebody else who you need to kind of work with, and your priorities change. Instead of, we're gonna go to Cancun, we're gonna go to this, we're gonna do that. It's a different environment. So
that's interesting. I never thought about that.
Well, I mean, and this was kind of all laid out in the whole book Subverted, and the lies that were told to middle class women. I was like, here's the thing. Take it away from relationships, okay? You don't go sell a piano to somebody in the middle class. You don't do that. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. You work at the MTA, you work at the post office. You're middle class people. You don't sell a piano. That makes no sense. What you sell is a music room. Anybody who's anybody has a music room. Only the culture sophisticated people have music rooms. You want to have music in your house because it increases your kids', you know, cognitive ability and this and that and da-da-da-da. This like, and of course in the music room you need to have encyclopedias because it has it. And then people have a music room. What are they gonna need? They're gonna need a piano.
It's genius.
You don't sell, and this there was a method, especially in the black community. Our dollar circulates 6 hours. You know why it circulates 6 hours? Because we're hyper consumers. Even in the pandemic, the line around the Gucci store. We are hyper consumers. So even the line around the Gucci store is line, and you're not the typical Gucci customer. But why? Because we have a household that's feelings. It's not rooted in logic or outcomes. It's saying, all right, you may want a Gucci belt, son, but you're gonna need to go work and make that Gucci money. Now I'm gonna pay you to do this, and they're like, wait a minute, I got to work how many hours to get the money for one belt? I'm good. Versus money just comes from a stimulus check or something, and it just comes, so we just spend it. And
most traders fail because they're looking for too much. At 20 Minute
crazy.
Trader, we focus on one predictable pattern.
Trades.
when I was growing up, everybody didn't expect to have big homes and drive Mercedes. People were happy with Honda Civics and reasonable homes. Men not being around, we're the more logical long term because we know ain't nobody coming to save us. So we got to have something. And this is why I don't begrudge women for moving the way they do. I just think men need to understand women's nature and understand you're not going to change this by argument. I've started out before high value or anything else. I started out with talking about show your work. You can say whatever you want to, but when you actually start making the changes in yourself, showing the accomplishments, you can go back on my YouTube channel and see the progression, the evolution.
I did. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So it's hard to argue against work. People are like, you always working, man. You always working. You always doing this. I'm like, I'm older than you and I'm out working you. And our women are no different than any other group of women in this sense that they want to believe in their men, they're just afraid to. So this is where I hold men, black men, responsible.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I would definitely.
Since D.W. Griffith's Birth of a Nation in 1915, the black male image has been under assault. There is one thing that does not exist, and it needs to exist. Black male media by black men for black men. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. He runs a website called the Negro Manosphere. And over there's a collective of black men who are always talking about, things that are important to us. We need black male media run by us, not us at CBS, NBC. We need our stuff for our voice, our point of view, funded by us.
I agree.
Our money. So when people say, you're making money off black women, men support my show. Mm-hmm. Men support my show. Men. The overwhelming support of my show comes by men. Because by saying thank you for sticking up, even if you're a white collar, high value, so-and-so, whatever brother you call yourself on your way to, because you stick up for the men who are blue collar, the factory worker, the military guy. You say something and you don't look down on us. I'm like, I come from that. What are you talking about? I still am that shit.
Do you still work in the corporate world? Pardon the interruption.
No, I do this.
Okay, cool.
And that was my next question. I'm glad you asked.
I was wondering if your stance on the male-female dynamic would have any impact on you being able to hold kind of corporate gigs, if you were still into that. But if you're not doing it, then I guess the question's mute.
Yeah, of course, I couldn't do it. I could be canceled because all they would have to do is call my job and he would say,
Yeah.
Check out this
But the funny thing is, anybody who knows me would tell you I've been this way since the 80s. Me too. They'll tell you.
Which are you having more fun in? Corporate shit, the shit you was on? I don't know. I don't come from that. Or this content creation shit?
This by far, because I can control it. When I worked in corporate America, I was in sales, and everybody ate off what I did. So if I go close the deal, my manager ate, the sales reps ate, the engineers and everybody else ate. Now, if you build your own business, your own audience, you can start to employ and have people eat off you the way you want to. When I was in corporate America, I had my first management job here in New York City. Hand to God. I was number 2 rep in the country, and I came up to take over the second worst team in the nation. I hired a team of people. First person I hired was a black woman. The next 6 people I hired were black men, and then one white guy. One white guy. His mother was white. His mother was black. I'm not black guy. White. And it's funny. Now, everybody in the organization knew my pedigree, knew I closed some of the biggest deals in company history, knew the CEO and blah, blah, blah. I was the golden boy, per se. Mm-hmm. I came up here in New York, and we were at Smith & Walensky, and I remember the uncomfortable way they was about to ask this question. I just knew they were going to ask. They were like, hey, Kevin. I just got a question for you. Notice you hired all African Americans. Why is that? I'm like, probably the same reason you hired all white people. I went back to eat my steak, and they couldn't see a damn thing. because I was kicking their ass. I beat them at every turn. I beat them in the company. And I took my team and I said, all right, I've become successful. I'm going to make sure you have the tools and resources, but you're going to work harder than you ever have worked before because, damn it, that's what's expected. But if you do these things, and we actually got out there and got it done, professional, and performed, blew them away. So I asked, and I went to my regional vice president. I was like, I think it's interesting. I was asked why I hired all black people, but I put it back to a story I told in college when I had a South African. This was right after apartheid. I had a South African chemistry instructor, and he said, Kevin, in chemistry recitation, 400 plus people, he's like, why do all the black students tend to sit together? They all tend to sit right there. I've noticed every time y'all tend to sit together, I was like, the same reason all the white students sit together. But I think it's funny that your eye automatically goes to that little group of 5 or 7 black people instead of this hundreds of white folks. And he just sat there and looked dumbfounded. I was like, why is this important? Because when I was in management, I didn't walk around talking about my views on this or that. I just had a shot, and I hired the best people I could find for the job, and they just happened to be black.
With Base 44, a simple sentence becomes your website.
It's not they just happen to be black.
Can't we do that? Just like the whole notion of why is this view or things that I'm saying, they're not wrong. And if we operated more in a way to where men were leading, effective, productive, competitive, successful men that respected one another, got out here and other groups of men had to say, those guys are somebody to be contended with. You're not going to go drop a business in our neighborhood. No, we're going to drop the business in our neighborhood. We're going to have the bank in our neighborhood. We're going to have the dry cleaner. We're going to have everything in here. And if you want to come over here, profit from what we're profiting from, you got to go through our power structure. If we're going to talk about circulating our dollar and that kind of thing, then it will be a hell of a lot easier for women to sit back and say, I don't like what the hell they're saying, even how he said it.
That's true.
But this air conditioning shit she'll feel good.
That's true.
I like the streets are clean and it's safe and my kid, you know what?
And we're the only people that don't have it.
But coming from corporate, are you shocked at just how fast this content creation game moves and the success and like we were talking off mic and you were saying you were out eating and people are recognizing you, and I mean, coming from a different world, I understand how it could be a lot for somebody.
Well, I come from the sales side and then the advertising and marketing side. I understood the importance of image and how image really plays. So am I shocked? No, because I studied it a lot before I even got into it. Like many people on YouTube, I came here understanding the platform, the algorithm, why Google bought YouTube and why Facebook bought Instagram and all those different things going behind it. Ultimately, I hope to become platform agnostic. I just want to own my own content, and whatever platform is hot, just drop it there. Like, this is why podcasting and all this is so valuable, because if they decide they want to turn the lights off one day, you just go to the next platform. Keeping the platforms competing is like keeping the labels competing. Ownership. And see, I think, while a lot of men champion stuff that I'm saying, I'm like, understand something. Go back to my old content. I want to hear shit from you talking about you being broke. If you're not working in 60 hours minimum a week that you're getting paid for, turn off YouTube, Instagram, whatever, and get your ass out there. Go down there and work at McDonald's, Circle K, get you a job. I don't care about your pride. You can't be proud and broke at the same time. Go work, and work. And then you take that money you make from your part-time job, invest some of it, take half of it, invest it to your future. The other 50%, the other percentage, take some, have some fun, go buy your belt, then invest it in self-improvement. Get you a high-income skill. Get you something that's going to give you high-value skills that you can market on, that you can leverage on the marketplace. Whether you're working in corporate America or whether you're going to be doing your own entrepreneurial thing in the future. But men, if you're working, the harder you work, the luckier you get, the more exposure you get. And it's about hard work and speed. Get out. When I came to New York City, it was one of the best moves I ever made because this city moves fast.
Super fast.
And that's good because if you can run fast, great. But if there's something wrong in your stride, you'll fall fast too. Good. Fix what's wrong and run quicker. Because if men are working to become the best version of themselves, putting the work in, a self-improvement, this, that, working with other men to help increase the opportunities for men, guess what? Women come along. Guaranteed, if coronavirus is over next month and the happening spot was, I don't know, something in Central Park, and everyone in the country recognized that this group of guys got this shit together, we all go sit there. We could just be sitting at the table, smoking cigars, drinking scotch or bourbon, and just talking, chopping it up. We would have women surrounded us.
Indeed.
Because they're always going to come where men are doing something. Where men are, when there's not shooting the shit, but when men are getting together, especially talking about power.
I think we've lost that power. I think we've lost that power.
What power you think we lost?
What he just said. I think that it's literally been a total
today.
It's been a total shift in which the power that you're saying that the women would flock to, it's been just the opposite. So we have the Instagram generation with the naked women and the sexually motivating, sexually attractive chicks. And I think the men are now gravitating to the women where...
And it's backwards.
It's backwards.
And
totally
we've lost the power.
Yes, indeed.
Because everyone's an individual contributor. That's why Snoop Dogg had to apologize to Gail. Why? Because Snoop is a millionaire, but he out there alone. But if we had the media apparatus to say, no, you going to cancel Snoop? No, come on. No, Snoop is with us. See, as long as, why am I here? I had other stuff to do, but this brother has something, and I got something. This matters.
That matters.
This matters. It's a connection.
And that's why I reached out. Yeah.
And the thing is, we have to stop I have a reputation of not beefing. People can say the most egregious things about me.
I'm trying to get that reputation.
Good luck, man.
Because the thing is, and I started that off long before anybody ever knew who I was.
But he's 52 too now. I don't know if he had this reputation at 40.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, because it ain't about me. The thing is, I can't really beef with you if I don't know you. Most of the people say stuff, it's about something. And the thing is, the audience doesn't want to see that. They want to see, we know how that looks. We need to be able to work together. As black men, as men in general, when men working together, women automatically fall into their place. But when we flip it and we start acting catty and beefy and this and that, why do they have to respect that? Why don't women need to respect some? If you calling me this and that, and I'm calling you this and that, we acting like a bunch of
bitches.
Yes, why
we
do
acting
you
like
respect
bitches?
that?
Yeah, I agree.
Versus if you say something about me and I just like keep moving, and you go on about your business, and then you work with the people you can work with, and then eventually you may come back around and be like, you know what, man?
Show. You know what, dog, I was wrong.
I thought you was on that bullshit. I couldn't stand your sweet looking ass, but you know what? You just a different kind of dude. But I heard that you this or that, and guess what? And I'll be like, it's cool, man. Let's go. I don't beef. Let's worry about it.
Get this money. Yeah.
But do you think we get further if we are able to work together with women and be inclusive?
I think that they're two separate issues.
Yes.
I think that prior to, it's to go back to Malcolm X, right? Malcolm X, when asked that question about working with white people, his immediate response was, I think that we need to...
Well, first of all, they told him not to answer that question.
Nation of Islam.
They said, don't you focus.
No, I'm not talking about that question. I'm not talking about that one. When they asked him, could white people help the cause, et cetera, initially, he said no. He said, we have to learn how to champion our own selves first and regulate our own selves first prior to accepting outsiders into our situation. So I think what he's saying is, as men, and more specifically black men, until we can gather and commune and learn how to regulate ourselves, women can't really fight for our cause.
See, you say work with women, and I say we need to be able to employ our women. employ our women, work with women. The same thing as far as I'm concerned. When we have an economy, if they choose to work in corporate America, their own businesses, but if you also have a thriving economy to where they can work in, guess what? It's a hell of a lot easier to have respect for somebody when you see a man in the household, a man running businesses, a man running the police department, fire department, everything around you. Like I grew up in a neighborhood where I saw black male teachers, and it's this. I think I'll find this podcast and I'll put it down at the bottom. When boys see men in teaching roles, their outcomes improve dramatically because male teachers, we don't have those anymore. And that's another part that we don't have time to get into. But when we have lost, there's a book called The Black Tax that talks about the simple loss of black men as teachers. The impact a boy has of seeing a man. I grew up in a single parent household, but everywhere around the seats of power, my principal, my band director, at every level of my life, there were men leading stuff. So, I put the responsibility and onus for the leadership, all that stuff, firmly back on us. Yeah, we're talking about women and all this stuff right now, but make no mistake, and I have fallen short because I didn't see this stuff growing up. Nobody talked about this.
That's true.
We are building the airplane while we're flying it, and I will never sit back and try to hold myself up as some bastion of what's right and wrong. Are you kidding me? Come on, man. We've all done some stupid shit, some fuck shit. But the whole point is, are we trying to leave it better than we found it?
That's true.
I think, and I got to run here in a minute, but I think Generation X in particular, we're the first generation that didn't have to go fight a war of any kind. We didn't have to, my father's generation had Vietnam, and before them they had Korea, before that they had World War II. Generation X, we had the ball kicked out of our hand. We had Reaganomics, we had crack, then we had AIDS and all that other stuff. Generation X men is going to be the legacy we leave behind for the other men. We didn't get to have it the way we wanted. We didn't get to be the dads in the household that we didn't get a chance to say. We wanted that stuff, we didn't get a chance. But we can choose to say, even though I couldn't have it that way, can I hand the baton off to the next group of men and give them something to run into so they don't have to keep reinventing this motherfucking wheel and doing it all over and over again and then having to vie for power with the women? No. If we are doing what we're supposed to be doing, let us build our power base, work together, build our economies, and then women have the opportunity to say, if I want to work in that structure or do I want to go work over on this structure? More often than not, history has shown women are really good with accepting when they can actually see men do something. Not just bump your gums, talk a good game, show your work.
And they say that.
So
they say that.
Listen, man. Round of applause. Round of applause.
Oh, we need a part two.
Kev, he said
I wanted to get into the civil rights and what do you think that effect on us had, et cetera, et cetera. I think.
And I'll be here in a couple of 3 weeks. And see, the thing is, my goal is to have just the best.
Yeah, that was beautiful, actually. Talking about the civil rights, low key. That was beautiful. Really was. Dang. R.I.P. my dude, chat. Not gonna lie. That was beautiful. Can't lie. I need y'all to understand how much of an impact he really has had on a lot of things. But overall, I'm just happy I was able to stream with y'all today, just be on here and just talk. I didn't talk too much. I wanted y'all to really hear this. This is what it was. But still, I really appreciate just whoever was here, just being here and supporting me. That's all I care about. And, maybe I'll see you tomorrow. I got a long day tomorrow, so maybe not. But I'm going to clock off, get some rest, and it's really good just to hear some knowledge and get to really, chat with y'all. So thank you for real.